Hey, today I'm going to talk about 3 brand new movies, and their titles are The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Malignant, and All Hands on Deck. First up is The Eyes of Tammy Faye. This is a biopic starring Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield. It is based on the documentary of the same name, which is about Tammy Faye. If you're unfamiliar with who she is, her and her husband were televangelists for decades who swindled millions of people out of a metric boat ton of cash in order to live their lavish lifestyle, all in the name of God. I was really surprised with how much I connected to this movie. I really enjoyed it. They made Tammy Faye very, very sympathetic. They didn't make her innocent, they just made her very understandable. I kept thinking to myself, like, did this really happen? Did this really go down this way? It had to have, right? It probably did. And I was really connecting to it. And the couple times that really got me, I thought that same thing of, did this really happen? But those were moments that were on TV. So there is recorded evidence that this crazy thing definitely did happen. Those just broke me down at times. The one moment where I really cried was when Tammy Faye was talking to the man who was suffering from AIDS, and just how powerful that moment was. It definitely happened, and it was a beautiful moment, and I appreciate what she did. Yes, she loves the attention and the lavish lifestyle, but she also loves being able to help people. She loves using her celebrity and her attention as a way to make the world a little bit better. And yeah, she swindled a lot of people out of a lot of money. That's bad. No denying that, but she tried to do some good, so I can sympathize with that. Her biggest fault is kind of just falling for a charismatic snake oil peddler. So yeah, I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I definitely recommend it. Yeah, it's just a really good movie. It's gonna hit you in the feels. Next up is Malignant. This is a James Wan horror movie. So I saw this movie in the theaters, and there was a couple in front of me that did not stop talking the entire movie. Literally the longest break they had in conversation was 30 seconds. Most of the time it was about 7 seconds between when they would say something. Also, there technically were longer breaks, but those were one of the 8 times that one of them got up to go do something. So needless to say, I was a little distracted while watching this movie. That being said though, I still enjoyed it a good amount. The basic premise is it's about this woman who is somehow witnessing some murders, I guess. Sure, let's go with that. I would say the majority of the movie is just a very standard, nothing exciting horror movie. It does a lot of by the numbers things. But then we get to the reveal of what's going on in the third act, and it's bonkers. That is kind of the perfect word to describe it. It's pretty clear what's gonna happen in the third act, how things are gonna tie it together, without saying what it is. It does what you think it's gonna do, but then it does something else. And it's what the hell is this? This is ridiculous. But it works. Because the whole movie's a bit over the top. But when they do the thing at the end, it goes more so to the point of it's funny, but it's also still creepy and definitely disturbing. It's just what? No, ew. There's one shot in particular that I made a very loud sound to. And I'm sure a lot of other people did too. If you've seen it, it's the part where they cut it out. I'll just phrase it that way. And wow. It's just someone had an idea that was just oh, we can't do that. But then someone else was no, let's do that. And they did. So yeah, because of the ridiculous end, I actually ended up putting this in the quite liked. I would only recommend this movie if you are okay kind of being bored or not really blown away for most of the movie, and then having a very ridiculous over-the-top ending. It's something else. You are not prepared for what that ending is. And lastly is All Hands on Deck. This is a French movie. The basic premise is it's about this guy who has a one-night stand with this girl, and then she goes off on vacation with her family, and then he decides to go surprise her while she's on vacation. And things go poorly. It's sort of like a lighthearted comedy drama type of thing, except the two main characters are very unlikable. That was kind of a hard thing for me to get around, is like, you do want them to succeed and get along and, you know, have romance, whatever, but they're just kind of awful. But in a realistic way, like, I think both the characters are 22. They definitely feel like they're 22-year-olds who have no idea how to properly express their emotions or their desires, and they're just bad at interacting with people. And that's rough, but funny sometimes, but also just rough. That being said, I still enjoyed this movie. I liked the main guy has a best friend who comes along on this trip, and he's very charming and loving, and he has like this whole thing with this married woman that's really cute. And then they also have like essentially an Uber driver who tags along for longer than anyone wanted, and he's just like this super awkward nerdy guy, and he's adorable. I love his whole character arc. I also love the main girl's sister. She's not in a lot of the movie, but she's really funny. And I can really sympathize with a lot of the characters, so that kind of made me enjoy it more. What this movie does great, though, is they somehow captured the feeling of wind. Like how that perfect summer breeze can hit you just the right way to like fill you with life, make you glad that you're alive, and its warm hug, and it's just, it feels good. I would only recommend this movie if you're looking for like a summer vibes type of movie, and you can handle the main characters being very unlikable. They're not the worst people, but it's just kind of frustrating, everything that they do. Yeah. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got The Eyes of Tammy Faye, sitting at number 18 in the really like section. And then after that is Malignant, sitting at number 30 in the quite like section. And then bringing up the rear is All Hands on Deck, sitting at number 38 in the liked category. And this is out of a total of 50 new movies so far this year. And that brings the grand total out of all the movies I've seen this year up to 273. I also want to say that I incorrectly apparently said that this shirt was given to me by Santa. Well, my mom saw that and turns out that no, she actually gave it to me for Christmas, but it's debatable.